Meet Erica Morales. At 19 years old, she's a burst of energy and ambition. Fluent in English, French, and Spanish, she can code in 3 languages and dreams of being a neurosurgeon.
I love pushing boundaries. I love, going outside the box to an extent.
It hasn't been easy. Erica struggles with anxiety and depression, growing up Afro-Latina, going to schools with mostly white students.
I was never black enough. I was never Latinx enough, to be, a biracial kid in school. So I never really wanted to identify with either side.
For parents, Omar, who's Puerto Rican, and Jessica, African American, sometimes it's hard just to keep up with their daughter.
We are 2 introverts, and somehow she has really blossomed as a true extrovert. I mean, she's a theater kid, she's a sports kid, but more than that, her personality is very much one of interaction.
As Erica explores different aspects of her identity, she often pushes back against the family's Latinx culture. Instead of taking Spanish, she took French. Instead of keeping her head down, she speaks up.
He was very keep yourself in a box, keep your head down. So I did the exact opposite of that. After I started taking French, I started to learn Spanish and embrace Latinx culture in my own time.
Latinx culture emphasizes familismo, respect for one's elders and viewing one's identity as being inseparable from the family. As a value, it can bring teens a sense of purpose and security by connecting them to a larger community. But when taken to the extreme, familismo can hinder a teen's development by stifling their individuality, even backfiring and leading to rebellion. Erica's parents are trying to preserve tradition while nurturing their bright but headstrong daughter. It's a delicate balancing act.
There is a clash, yeah. She's very opinionated, she's very outspoken, and sometimes we have to say, look, there is a way to respectfully have dialogue and disagree. Right.
The family communicates love through shared interests, like books, games, music, and cooking authentic Latin food.
When you think about Latinx culture and how it fits into your identity, are there aspects of it that you like, that you embrace?
Food. Food, all the way. Especially in Puerto Rican culture, cooking for someone is the best thing in the world. So I cook for a lot of my friends. I love cooking.
Omar and Jessica have also gone out of their own comfort zone to find ways to connect with their daughter, like joining her at social justice protests. By supporting Erica's fight against institutional racism, they're also helping her become a force for good in her community.
Omar was there with her at those BLM protests, right? And I'm really glad that we were able to do that and that she was comfortable with us being there with her.
As a doctor, I see so many Latinx kids and teens who come in with mental health conditions. I also see parents who are struggling to communicate with their kids and to help them navigate 2 cultures. Omar and Jessica have found a way to connect with Erica through the things that matter to her. They've also encouraged her to be herself and to find her own voice. In doing this, they are giving her skills that will protect and guide her into the future, long after she's left the nest.
Parents can help bicultural teens maneuver different parts of their identity by instilling cultural pride while also promoting independence. But it takes time.
I can connect to a lot of different people. I can connect to a lot of Hispanic people. I connect to a lot of Black people. I connect to a lot of white people. And I think that being biracial really kept me on my toes with that. And it allowed me not to dumb myself down to a stereotype.
So for the parents who are trying to get their kids to that point, that realization that you had, what do you say to them?
Just let them figure it out on their own. It's gonna be so much worse if you try and figure it out for them. If you try and push something onto them, or if you try and kind of shove them in the right direction, they're gonna go completely the other way.
For Omar and Jessica, a balancing act that's been worth it.
There may be a misconception that teenagers cannot bring value to a given conversation. We ourselves have been enriched by Erica's presence in this house, by her needs and her
interests,
her enthusiasms.
that's not even sort of capturing what she gets out of it, right? Which is like a path to sort of knowing herself and what she wants and being able to articulate that in the world, right? Like if she can do that amongst her family, right, then she can do that when she goes out into the world and really sort of be empowered and take ownership of her life, and we absolutely want that.